Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. At the time of recording this video, Tesla stock is sitting at about $221 per share. You are down about 1% today, and I will explain everything going on in markets and what you need to know specifically heading into tomorrow as well. But let's start this puppy off with a little bit of really good Tesla stock news. Tesla China says that construction on its new Shanghai Megapack factory is now 45% complete, just 3 months after construction started a new record. Tesla shared a progress photo below, as well as the first rendering of what the factory will look like when complete. It looks like this factory is going to cost about $200 million to complete, which sounds a little on the low side, honestly. I don't know if that number is correct. Initial capacity of 10,000 units per year. This will bring in $10 billion of revenue per year from this one factory. This new factory covers an area of 200,000 square meters and aims to export megapacks to overseas markets, including the Asia Pacific region, to support the global green future. As Elon Musk has said many times now, really with megapacks, the demand for the foreseeable future is basically unlimited. Every single grid power supply source can benefit from having a megapack, whether you are in an area that experiences frequent blackouts like China or parts of California, or if you are just in an area that has an abundance of power. I'll tell you, by my house there's a bunch of wind turbines. I'm sure that could benefit from having a couple of megapacks, and I think this goes for everywhere in the world. Europe, Asia, the US, developing markets in South America, Africa, so on and so forth. And the speed of construction here is outright impressive. We're already 45% the way done with this factory, and this is going to add a material difference to Tesla's bottom line. Tesla's revenue. Tesla's going to do over 100 billion of revenue this year. That's going to be close to 10% or so of Tesla's revenue for this year when this factory is up, operational, and at full capacity. Tesla topped the American Consumer Satisfaction Index, the ACSI, for 2024 in the luxury segment, with Mercedes-Benz holding steady and gaining notoriety for improvements in complaint handling. This is also really big news today. Tesla is set to get a reduced import tariff of 9% from 20.8% on its China-built cars exported to the European Union after the bloc's executive revised on Tuesday its proposed punitive duties on imports of Chinese-made electric vehicles. And we have now the Starbucks to really get this day rocking and rolling. We have a long day of 4-year-old water park excursions and maybe climbing the mountain here. And more really good news. Last week, 14,300 Teslas were insured in China last week, the second best week of Q3 so far, and continuing the strong demand in the region for this quarter. And it looks like the Cybertruck continues to draw attention, this time because it's on a beach, just driving through the water, doing whatever the Cybertruck wants to do. Elon Musk confirms that he is willing to serve some role in government, maybe a committee to oversee where the government is spending money. That's kind of the hint we got via that Elon Trump conversation on X about a week and a half ago. And Elon Musk confirms here that he is willing to serve for the better good of the American public. Which I gotta say, I don't think that's bad for Tesla or your investment, either way this thing goes. But in the near term, there's going to be a lot of political uncertainty, political pressures from this side and that side. It really does not matter who ultimately wins for your money. I will point out the news yesterday that Trump said he'll consider ending the $7,500 EV tax credit if elected. Again, this is something that really helps the competition. It doesn't help Tesla. It's not a big deal if it goes away or not. In the near term, it could be at least somewhat minor. It's not a big deal in the longevity of the company we invest in. It's a bigger problem for the others that are trying to compete. And it looks like Uber's CEO sold $7.2 million worth of Uber shares. Small amount compared to what he owns, but October 10th is coming up, and that could be a bit of a problem for, again, the longevity of Uber. And again, back to those vehicle registration numbers that we seen last week. We did come in at an even 14,000 for this past week. Last year during this week, you were at 13,900. So you barely beat that, but still, any beat on a year-over-year basis is great news. And then from 2022, we only had looks like about 3,600 vehicles that were registered. So that's a big beat from 2022. At the time of recording this video, Tesla stock's trading at $221.73 per share. Really, it's just a slight down day for broader markets because yesterday was a pretty good day. Okay, the S&P was up about 1%. You have major events coming this week. You have Fed Jerome Powell on Friday. You have some economic data on Thursday. And really, the only thing that matters here is the economic data. But Powell's also going to be important. We want to see him confirm the Fed's going to start cutting rates, that the focus is no longer on inflation. It is on the labor market. It is on the economy. We want to see a competent Fed, a Fed that's not going to force the U.S. economy at this point into a recession. So there's going to be a lot of uncertainties. There's going to be people picking their sides and making their bets for both directions. And yeah, you're going to see a lot of volatility even between now and Friday, especially considering what we have for tomorrow morning. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in the next video. But long story short, Tesla stock above 220 is a great sign. Now, I don't know where things are going to hash out by the end of the day. We could fall under 220, but right now we're showing a lot of support and a lot of strength above 220, and that is a very good sign. As far as option activity here today, you have 10 different trades totaling $4.06 million with a positive order value of 86%. That's pretty dang good. You get 86% of big money option orders coming through on any stock for any day. That's a good day. So I'll take it, even though Tesla stock is down 0.5% at the time of recording this video. You can see a lot of calls that are actually coming through for this Friday, August 23rd's expiration. The 207.50 call here for 400,000, the 212.50 call for 300,000, 207.50 call for 400,000, and the list kind of goes on and on. And really, the vast majority of these trades you can see here are calls. You can see and see as just really I'm scrolling, there is a ton of them. Tesla's short interest off free float sits at 3.13%. This has fallen quite a bit recently from being around 4%, which for a company the size of Tesla, almost $800 billion market cap, is a big change. Okay, you now have $19.35 billion currently sold short in Tesla. You are down about 25 million shares total that are sold short, down to about 86.86 million shares. At one point, you were over 110 million shares or so that were sold short. So people have gotten decidedly more bullish on Tesla. And what we've noticed recently is there's more shares that continue to be returned, even as Tesla has went from 270 down to 180. You didn't see that continuous shorting activity, whereas a lot of the time, if you have a company that Wall Street's just not bullish on, they will short the stock as it continues to fall. This time, they started covering as the stock was falling, and that's a very good sign from my perspective. That's, I've been in the markets for a long time. I've seen things go both ways. Usually when you do see a lot of covering, that's a good sign the stock will do well, at least in the medium term. Here today, you have borrowed shares of 1.38 million and return shares of 712,000. So it looks like about 668,000 shares or so are being sold short today. But I do think these numbers are going to hash out, and we may actually see a net short covering. Google Trends data for the Tesla lineup is also doing really well recently for the Cybertruck, going from 65 to 66. The Model Y continues to ramp up from 24 to 28. The Model 3 as well from 24 to 27. The Model S at 10, and the Model X going from 8 to 9. Here's some GMC news. Apparently, GMC expects to outsell its electric truck competitors as it launches a new Sierra pickup. And they are suggesting that they are going to outsell Tesla here. It says, but to reach the top, the new Sierra EV will have to outsell its sibling Chevrolet Silverado EV, as well as competitors from Ford Motor, Rivian Automotive, and Tesla, which, you know, at this point, Tesla's been the best-selling vehicle over $100,000 in the U.S. for the last 2 months. Doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. Here on the day today, you are getting a little bit of a VIX spike. The VIX is up 5%. The Russell 2000 is the one that is really taking it on the chin today, down about 1.2%. The Nasdaq's down 1/3 of 1%. S&P's down 0.21%. The Dow down 0.23%. And again, heading into Thursday, where you have data coming out that is going to give you more insights on the economy. You have earnings coming out tomorrow morning with TJX, you have Target, you have Macy's. These are consumer, dependent companies, right? With all the fears of the consumer and hearing from these companies, it's critical that they tell you good things. If they do not tell you good things, people are going to extrapolate that as the economy's getting worse, the consumer's getting worse. And in fact, they might. And that's the risk heading into tomorrow. So Wall Street, they're going to sell a little bit just to get ready for that potential outcome of bad news. As long as we don't get bad news from those earnings tomorrow morning, I do believe you'll see the Russell outperform again. The equal weight S&P outperform again. In fact, the RSP is down 0.35%. That is the equal weight S&P. The weighted S&P is down 0.2%. So you are underperforming a little bit for the equal weight. And I do expect a general outperformance over the next couple of months. But again, that slight underperformance today is really in anticipation of what could come throughout the rest of this week. Today over on Stocktwits, sentiment is neutral at 52. Yesterday it was bullish at 69. Message volume is normal at 52, which is actually higher than yesterday at 39, which was low. So today you're actually seeing a big jump in people talking about Tesla, and Tesla is outperforming other stocks. Other stocks are down a lot more than, barely negative. Tesla's down 4 cents on the day today at the time of recording this video. It's not a bad day at all. So that's going to garner a little bit more attention, I think, throughout the rest of the day for Tesla. Participation ratio today is high at 55. Global inventory numbers for the Model S, the Model X continue to remain pretty consistent overall. Model S at about 2,700, Model X at 3,700. The Model 3 and the Model Y are kind of the problem areas. They are the two models that have risen a lot in inventories. Now, what we've seen correlate over the last really year or two is anytime inventory numbers get this high, you start to get a lot of promotional activity over a Tesla. Tesla stock does not like promotional activity. That's typically not good for margins. I don't think we need to see promotional activity. I think Tesla's current promotional activity, buying down the interest rate, offering 2% financing, is very attractive as the treasuries, 10-year treasuries, have fallen from 4.5% down to 3.8% in recent weeks. That also helps Tesla's margins, right? So they don't have to buy down the interest rate as much now as they did a couple of weeks ago. It wouldn't surprise me to see Tesla maybe buy that interest rate down a little bit more, maybe just buy it down to 0%, as long as they can hold margins where they have been. They don't have to, but with inventory starting to rise like it has been, that's a possibility, something to be mindful of. The Model Y fell a little bit overnight from 7,300 down to 6,800. So what is that? A 400 vehicle reduction. 15% reduction or so in inventory. That's good. The Model 3 is really not moving around at all. About 6,400 vehicles in inventory. And I will also say inventory numbers rising could just be production is rising. It doesn't have to be, that inventory is rising because they're not selling as many vehicles. It can just be production has risen. Here on the day today, again, to the point that I just made, it looks like 10-year treasury yields are falling another 3 basis points down to 3.83. 3%. Percent of stocks currently trading above the 50-day moving average is definitely not looking too great today. You're back down to 57.4%. So you're pretty neutral overall. This is not a fantastic market. This is not a terrible market at the same time. But you do have 3.24% of all stocks falling below their 50-day moving average today. So not particularly a great day today. And I think that just highlights Tesla's exceptional outperformance today, because Tesla's only down 1%. Like, this is a pretty calm day for Tesla stock, and it could be some of the news that we went over at the top of this video. That tariff news is a big deal, going from almost 21% tariff down to 9%. Yeah, we'll take that. That was probably the best possible outcome for that tariff situation. So with that said, let me know what you think about all of this information down below in the comments section. That is going to go ahead and conclude this video. We have a lot more to get into in the video coming out at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, and I look forward to you guys joining me there. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. If you guys want to come trade with us live in real time, get access to some of the trades that I just made even yesterday. Not really trades, more long-term buy and holds. I did make another trade today on target earnings. Check it out. Link down below in the description of this video if you want to. Not financial advice. You may lose money if you listen to anyone out there. Just to get some perspective would be good. I think that's the 4th or 5th time I dropped my phone, so I'm probably just going to leave it down there. Be honest, I don't need it anyways. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.